In this video, we are going to recap a movie called Mack, which is released in the year 2013. The movie opens with a scene of a pregnant woman named Mack, who is in agony as she is about to give birth. Blood stains her clothes and the floor, but there is no one around to help her. Her husband, Mack, is away at war, fighting for his country. He gets wounded in the battle and is taken to a tent by a medic. There, he meets his comrades, Puck, Shin, and No Name. They are losing hope as they face a powerful enemy with guns and cannons. Puck tries to cheer them up, and they grab their swords to join the fight. They see their fellow soldiers fall one by one, so they hide behind some rocks and try to survive. Mack thinks of his wife and his unborn child, and vows to make it back home. Despite his injury, he and his friends manage to escape the battlefield and board a boat that takes them to their hometown. Meanwhile, Mack is calling out Mack's name as she holds their baby in her arms. The baby is fat and healthy, but something is not right. The villagers seem to be afraid of Mack and her baby, and they lock themselves in their houses at night. Mack and his friends arrive at Mack's house, and he is overjoyed to see Mack and their son. He introduces them to his friends, who are amazed by Mack's beauty. He tells them that they can stay at his house until the war is over, and they gladly accept his offer. Later that night, Mack and Mack are having a romantic moment. Mack jokes that there is a ghost in the house, but Mack is scared and hides behind her. He grabs an amulet that is supposed to ward off evil spirits, but Mack tells him to put it away as she needs to clean it first. She then sings a lullaby to soothe their crying baby. Her voice echoes through the town, and the villagers are terrified. The next day, Mack and his friends go to the market to buy some food. However, they find that the vendors are acting strangely. A woman who sells fruits eats them all herself and claims that she has nothing left to sell. She then runs away as fast as she can. A man who sells fish frees them from his basket and says that he is not selling them either. He also runs away in a hurry. It seems that the vendors are trying to avoid Mack and his friends. Mack then goes to a wine shop to look for a job. The owner of the shop, Vodka, recognizes him and becomes agitated. She tells him that he should look between his legs, implying that he will see that Mack and their baby are ghosts. However, her son stops her from saying more and shuts her mouth. Mack and his friends are confused by her words. Later, Shin falls asleep by the river and has a nightmare about Mack being a ghost. He wakes up and tells his friends to call Mack from his house. He goes there and sees some eerie things. The crib is moving by itself, and Mack's hand stretches out unnaturally to reach a fruit. He runs back to his friends in fear and tells them that Mack is a ghost, but they don't believe him and laugh at him. They think that Mack is too beautiful to be a ghost. They also mock Shin for believing in the legend that looking between the legs can reveal if someone is a ghost. They then start singing their marching song, unaware of the horror that awaits them. The scene shifts to the river, where Vodka's body is floating. She is dead, and the air is filled with the smell of alcohol. The next day, goes to the grass field to relieve himself. He is shocked to see a dead body buried in the ground, wearing a red ring. He runs back to his friends, but he is attacked by bees on the way. They sting his face, but they leave his butt alone. He then sees Mack wearing the same red ring as the dead body, and he realizes that she is a ghost. He tries to tell his friends, but his mouth is swollen. He gets a pen and paper and writes that Mack is a ghost. He shows it to his friends, who are scared by his message. Mack sees them reading the paper, and he wants to read it too. But the rain has washed away some of the words, and he reads it as Mack is gross. He then runs to her and tells her that he still loves her even though she is gross. Meanwhile, explains to No Name that Mack wears the same ring as the corpse. They want to leave as soon as possible, but says that they should care about Mack's safety. He says that they are his friends, and they can't leave him alone with a scary but sexy ghost. At night, Vodka's son comes to their house and tells No Name and Puck that Vodka is dead. He blames Mack for killing her because she told Mack that Mack is a ghost. They then tell and Shin about it, and they are terrified. They want to leave right away, but Mack invites them to have dinner with her. She serves them dried leaves and worms. They don't want to eat it, but she gives them a menacing look and forces them to eat it. After that, They signal each other to leave. Mack sees them leaving, and he asks them to play charades with him. During the game, Tur points to Mack, and Shin says the word dead. They are scared of Mack, and they run to the boat and paddle away as fast as they can. But they are so scared that they paddle in circles and don't get far. Mack tells them to mind their own business. They finally manage to paddle away. Later, Mack confronts them for thinking that Mack is a ghost. He says that they are just like the villagers who believe in rumors. He says that Vodka's son spread the rumor because he was jealous of Mack and Mack's relationship. He says that Mack rejected him because he smelled like vodka. But his friends are determined to tell Mack the truth about Mack and their baby. Mack goes back to Mack and hugs her with his arms. They then go to the carnival to have a fun date. There, Mack wears a ghost mask to cover her face. They want to ride the Ferris wheel, but it is too crowded. So Mack shows her face to the people, and they run away in fear. On the Ferris wheel, Mack asks Mack if he can live without her. He says that he can't, and that he loves her more than anything. After that, they go to the haunted house. There, Mack's friends plan to kidnap Mack and save him from Mack. Tur brings some holy rice as a weapon against ghosts. Mack and Mack walk through the haunted house. Everyone is scared of Mack, and they run away from her. Later, as they are walking, Mack's friends tie him up and drag him away from Mack. But they can't get out because the door is locked. They hide Mack in a corner and pretend to be part of the haunted house. Mack looks for Mack, but she can't recognize his friends. After she passes by them, they sneak out with Mack. But then Mack appears behind them and scares them. They run all the way to the woods. They free Mack there and try to convince him that Mack is a ghost. But he says that he already checked between his legs and Mack is not a ghost. He walks away from them, but he is in pain because of his wounds. Tur suddenly remembers that the body with the red ring might be Mack's and not Mack's. They then remove Mack's bandage to see if he has a red ring. But they find it on his neck instead of his finger. Tur throws the holy rice at Mack, making him scream in pain. Mack's friends run away from him, thinking that he is a ghost. As they are far away from him, they doubt their memory of Mack. They think that she must be alive because she is too beautiful to be a ghost. So they decide to rescue her from Mack. They go to Mack and apologize to her for their mistakes. Shin is still afraid of her, so they let him touch her to prove that she is alive. After that, they take Mack and her baby to the boat and paddle away on the river. But their boat starts to sink because of the weight. They throw away their things, even the paddle. They then realize that they have no way to paddle without a paddle or a battery. At that moment, Mack arrives and swims towards their boat. They are scared and tell Mack that Mack is dead and a ghost, but she doesn't believe them. Suddenly, Mack feels a cramp in his leg and starts to drown. He calls for help. His friends then realize that he must be alive because ghosts can't drown. So they help him get on the boat. Mack tells them that he screamed in pain because the holy rice hit his wounds. Tur then wonders who the real ghost is if Mack is not the one. The red ring falls from No Name's pocket, and they think that he is the ghost. They throw him out of the boat and paddle away with their hands. Mack gives them the paddle so they can move faster. But Tur is confused by how Mack got the paddle from far away. He suspects that she is the ghost, so he looks between his legs and sees that she is. He sees that she has a long arm that holds Mack. Mack and his friends jump into the water and swim away. Mack doesn't want to leave her, so Puck hits him on the head and knocks him out. Later, they take Mack to a Buddhist temple. The monk there, who is muscular but bald, tells them to stay inside the magic thread to be safe from Mack. Puck feels some water dripping from the ceiling, but it turns out that the roof is broken. The monk says that no one has donated money to fix it. Mack arrives at the temple and Mack wants to go to her, but his friends stop him. The monk asks for the holy water, but they spill it. He then asks for the holy rice, but Shin feeds it to the birds. They scold Shin and accidentally kick the monk out of the magic thread. The monk is scared and runs away from the temple. After that, they get tied up in the magic thread. Mack slowly walks towards them, so they run to another door. But No Name is there, and they run back inside because they think he is a ghost too. Tur realizes that Puck is wet from the holy water, so they push themselves towards No Name. This makes Puck kiss No Name by accident. After that, they manage to untie themselves from the thread. They see that No Name is not hurt by the holy water, so he says that he is not a ghost. He explains that he stole the ring from the corpse so he could sell it. They then see that Mack is still there, staring at them. They try to run away, but all the doors and windows shut by themselves. Mack vanishes, and they look up. She is on the ceiling, upside down, and she looks at them. She asks them why they are keeping Mack away from her. Tur says that she is a wicked ghost who killed M's vodka, but she says that she didn't kill M's vodka. She says that M's vodka drowned in the river because she was drunk. She tells them that she only wants to be with Mack, and she starts to cry. Her hand stretches out to reach Mack. His friends are scared and run away, but he walks towards Mack's hand. He has tears in his eyes, and Mack wipes them away. She says that she is sorry for not telling him the truth. She says that she just wants to be with him. He tells her that he knew she was a ghost from the start. He says that he checked between his legs and saw her ghostly form. He says that he found her body and hugged it. He says that he loves her even though she is a ghost. She says that it is impossible for them to be together because the living and the dead can't coexist. But he says that they can pretend and live normally. He says that he could have died in the war, but his love for her kept him alive. He says that their love is not wrong, and they can stay with each other. His friends hear their conversation, and they are moved by their love. They say that they are willing to live with them normally. Mack then uses her ghostly power to help fix the temple roof. In the end, Mack and Mack live happily with their baby, along with their friends and the villagers.